All right, happy Thursday. It is
Yes.
October 2nd, and we are here to have a fun, powerful conversation called Beyond the Mask, Confidence versus Pretending. So, who are we? Well, I am Dumas, leadership expert, joined here with what's wrong side with
I'm Deanna Pelley. I'm a licensed therapist and speaker.
excellent. So, Deanna, why in the heck are we having this conversation? For someone
Uh-huh.
tapping in, like, what the hell? Confidence versus pretending. Like, what is this deal with that?
Oh man, I think well, I would say we're having this conversation because well we met via Jamar Jones in a live that he had and I think I met you and I was like learning about your experience in leadership and coaching individuals, and it mirrors so well with the therapy side of things and what I talk about with really knowing yourself and how knowing yourself is the key to living the most authentic life that you can. And so I think I thought we have to merge this. We have to talk about this. We have to because these two things just build so beautifully when it comes to living the life you want and pursuing your both your leadership dreams, career dreams, all of that, and then even just the relational side of your life and the personal side of your life.
Absolutely. Yeah, there was a lot of synergy as you were sharing your background, your story. I was like, oh, I gotta connect with you offline about different things. But this wasn't even an idea
Hmm.
at that moment. But as we had more conversations, it developed and we saw the alignment in that. So,
Hmm.
what I want to kind of just is kick it off, just highlighting your experience in the mental health space and your therapy background, so people know, like, hey, this she's she knows her things, she knows what she's
Hmm.
talking about. So you,
Yeah. So as far as like my background goes, what I like to tell people is I'm not a mindset therapist. I'm not a that type of therapist. I'm a like look into yourself and find the answer. I think when it comes and I because I think that changes mindset in the long run. I actually think sometimes there can be a lot of emphasis on like mindset or changing a habit or something like that. And those things are valuable. But those are the tip of the iceberg. And I love to look at what's underneath the iceberg. And because we're all driven by our own subjective reality. And it's not the same. If it was the same, I probably actually wouldn't have a job. There wouldn't be a need for therapists. We'd all process and experience life in the same way. And so, inevitably, when I work with folks, I love to dive deep and understand what early experiences were like for them, what core beliefs they developed early in life that motivate them, be it
Mm,
good or bad, how that drives how they lead themselves like in their workplace, how it drives how they bring themselves forward in professional and personal relationships, the goals they go for, all different types of things because we're all driven by our own early experiences and they're not all the same. And when we learn those things, I think that's actually a key to embracing who we are, really finding our strengths and our stride as it's meant to be, and not pretending to be someone else. We have to fill our own shoes, and the shoe that fits one can pinch another. So we have to figure out what works for us.
yeah, well said. I love that. And going back in my own history, right? We're gonna psychoanalyze Alex right now, right? Where is he getting this wackiness from
Huh?
and wild behavior from, right? As a kid,
Mm-hmm.
I would say I was two people, right?
Hmm.
At home, kind of, I'm the youngest of four, so I like to say my parents saved the best for last. But
I love it.
but
Mhm.
there was a decent age gap between me and my siblings, right? My sister's 10 years older than me, and my other brother's 7 and 6 years older. I know,
Mhm.
I can't believe I just did that. That many
Uh-huh.
years
Uh-huh.
apart from me, right? So I'm
Hmm.
always just kind of like catching up, right?
Hmm.
One's going to college, or one's going to high school. I'm in elementary school or middle
Hmm.
school. They're off to college. I'm in high school. They're out of the house. I'm trying to figure out things, right? So
Hmm.
that in itself kind of left me feeling like just out of place in between, like, where do I fit in? Always just out of step. And then this other side of me where in school I'm the class clown kid. I'm the
Hmm.
disruptor. I'm the kid who's just causing havoc, not in a negative way, but just always on, always telling jokes, always funny, just never, just non-stop. And
Hmm.
that's exhausting for a while. That's exhausting for
Yeah.
me. It's exhausting for other people to be like, oh man,
Yeah.
this guy is just all right. Is he ever gonna like be serious? Is he ever gonna like just be himself? Like, well,
Hmm.
the self that I created was to fit in this image of like, hey, this is a class on this is what I have to be all the time, and you can't beat it all the time. I've learned through those years is pretty impossible, and now the work I do as a speaker, as an MC, as a community builders, just allowing people to show up as themselves, right? If we can be our
Hmm.
authentic selves, and we can make a positive change in the world. And that's why I'm excited about this discussion, right? Beyond the mask, right? Because
Hmm.
I feel like sometimes we could be consumed in these costumes. Ooh, that's a right
Yes.
there. Someone write that down. Consumed in the costume of
Hmm.
this is what you want me to be. And if I
Hmm.
try to step out of it, will I be rejected? Will I be even accepted? So, what are your
Hmm.
thoughts about that?
Oh man, I have like so many thoughts about that. When I think about even just like embracing kind of who you are, it reminds me of, believe it or not, a conversation I had with my accountant. Um, you know, he handles all the like the numbers side of my business. And actually, I remember him talking to me once. He's like, you want to have an LLC, an S corp, all of these things that like don't even, I have a very, very basic way of kind of relaying to someone else how this impacts me in my business and why I do this. And actually I had this conversation with my accountant where, you know what, I just said to him, I was like, I will do these things that you recommend if you do them. I said, I'm really good at being a therapist. Like that is my lane. I'm really good at it. It's not even just my lane, it's like my highway. Like I'm pretty good at this space. I am not good at this space. And he said, that's really great because I would make a lousy therapist. And this is just like a really easy space, like an easy kind of analogy to drive in where like this is a space where I knew that for a fee, of course, he'll do what he thinks is in my best interest, and I trust him to do so. I've got a really great accountant, but it allows me actually the freedom to operate in my space that I know that I'm good at, that I really enjoy, and where I really want to be. I don't have to pretend to care about these things or be good at them. I just get to operate in my own space, and I really love that. And I think that that's such a huge part of this leadership space, especially because you're an entrepreneur, I'm an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs, I think we're really good at being like alone and doing our things and driving things forward. And the thing with that I've noticed as a theme in the entrepreneurs, at least that I know, and in myself, is having what I would consider like a Thanksgiving plate of food that is absolutely not even doable or conquerable. We just take on and on and on and on and on. And we have a tendency to overwork and to want to pretend like we're good at something sometimes when really we're not. Because we're so driven to move forward. And so it's easy to get caught up in all of the flurry of what's around us and to be like, yeah, I can do this thing when sometimes we really can't, and we have to figure out our space and our lane.
Yeah, yeah. I like to say this. I got this from a mentor. It's your race and your pace.
Yes.
And
Hmm.
that just all right, bricks off my shoulder. Like, well,
Yes.
I thought I had to do this and I have
Hmm.
to be on this platform and I have to
Hmm.
no, no,
Yeah.
where are your people, right? In terms of where's your community? Who are
Hmm.
the ideal buyers, the ideal clients that will be best
Yes.
served from you, and what's fun? Is it
Yeah.
fun to go live? Is it fun to post videos? Is it fun to podcast? Is it fun to do that? If it is,
Hmm.
then do it at the best level that you can. If it's not, if it's draining, if you're like, oh my God, I have to do this. Like once it gets to the have to, like I should be, I ought to,
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
energy, it it goes through the camera or through the microphone, wherever you're doing, right?
Hmm.
It exudes versus when I'm excited, when I'm enthused, when I'm like, man, I get to do this.
Yes.
It's a whole different shift.
It is. It's a huge different shift. And it's like what you said there a second ago actually made me think of like a point that I had for later in our discussion, but I actually think it fits in now, which is like, I think one of the biggest things that's a part of removing the mask and being very authentic is flexibility and allowing things to look different than you initially planned them to look, than you wished they looked, than others expect them to look. There's a whole huge thing with this. Like, I'm in the process of writing a book right now. And one of the things that I had to allow for myself was that my timeline for finishing this book is not the initial timeline that I had. It doesn't
Okay.
mean it's not going to get done. It just means that it's moving slower than I wish it was moving, than I had planned for it to move, than I had told people that it was going to move. But actually, that's okay. I'm going to come up with a better product because of it. But I have to allow for flexibility, and there's an authenticity to that, and there's a realness to that. And it also means that when I'm allowing space for flexibility and for change, I'm tapping into my own needs and my own limitations, which exist.
Hmm. So this just brought up a thought for me. I'm putting myself in the mind of the folks who are not entrepreneurs, right? And this is
Yep.
not a knock, this is not a
Mm-mm.
this is not hate speech or anything like that, but the mindset could be like, well, if you don't have a deadline, then aren't you wishy-washy? You're supposed to do this. You said
Mm.
you're gonna have a book. You said you're gonna get this project, and it's not done. So what are you doing, right? I feel like the Everest
Mhm.
commercial, like you're sitting on the couch, you're doing nothing with your life, like,
Mhm.
right? So what's your response to someone like that who has a thought of, well, Deanna, you said you're gonna have this book birthed into the world, like it's not here. Like, are you even really working on it? Like, what's going on?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I would say absolutely I'm working on it. I would say, yeah. I would say for myself personally, what I know is that I have a tendency to overestimate myself a little bit and to bite off a little more than I can chew. And burnout for me comes usually like if this is the burnout wall, it's almost like it's foggy and I see it about when I'm like here. And I'm like, I've got to put the brakes on
Right.
or I'm in trouble. And what I would say to that is like other people may question, and yes, we do have to have deadlines and all of those things, but I know what I'm doing and I know what I'm working on. I'm working on a book that's not meeting my initial timeline. That's okay because I'm making a lot of progress on it. And I trust that that I will deliver. I know that I will deliver.
Yeah.
And that's also okay with me. I think part of my own journey in embracing who I am is knowing myself in a way that's like other people might be disappointed in me, but that doesn't mean that's my disappointment. Other people might be, think, well, she must not be doing X, Y, or Z. And they're allowed to think those things, but I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So in this case, as far as like my specific timeline goes for my book, like I know I'm working on it. I'm excited about it. I feel really good about it, and it's coming.
Yeah. I
Hmm.
love that. And one of the big words that I picked up on that you said was the progress. And
Hmm.
I see this a lot with people. It's like, hey, slow progress is better than no progress.
Absolutely.
What looks
Hmm.
like nothing's moving, what looks like stillness,
Hmm.
sometimes that's required, that's necessary. Me,
Yes.
I'm a high energy person. I'm a
Hmm.
go, go, go. And what I've been blessed to be humbled with is the opportunities to slow, slow, slow.
Yes.
And this kind of ties into one of the themes of the messaging we put out there is like, if you ever felt like you're nailing it on the outside, right? You're crushing it, you're winning, you're doing the
Hmm.
things, but on the inside, like that confidence is just
Yeah.
it's not there. Something's misaligned, it's not congruent. And I've
Hmm.
been in that space. I've worked with leaders who have they've got everything on paper, right? They've got
Hmm.
house, cars, all the beautiful stuff, and they're just like, I'm miserable.
Hmm.
I don't want to do this anymore. I
Hmm.
can't handle all these expectations,
Hmm.
and it's heavy.
It is. Yeah. It is heavy. I think sometimes like the more we output, the more people expect of us. It's as if we're raising our own bar to a way that becomes unsustainable. And it's that by no means is that a one size fits all approach to what you were saying. I think that's a nuance,
Yeah.
one potential nuance of that. Um, yeah. And I think the other thing that makes me think is like uh, another conclusion I for myself that I've come to, and I say that for myself because again this is like not we're not all the same, we're not all cookie cutters, but like if I'm not if I'm not giving a time, attention, and energy to the relationships that I have in my life with the people I love and the people who love me, then I might as well not be doing anything else. because there's nothing more valuable to me than those relationships. And if that means I have to push a timeline back, or I can't meet my initial deadline, or I have to change things up a little bit, okay. But like nothing beats the people that love me.
Yeah. At the end of the day, right? I've heard this from Ed Milet. So if he has one of the top podcasts in the world, and this analogy always sticks with me. He's like, we are these main characters in our life's movie,
Mhm.
but yet we kind of go around thinking about background character number one, or like
Mhm.
person at the cashier number two, right? All these, if you go through a movie credits, right, you have starring this person, and then get supported in here, and then all of a sudden he's like henchman number one and two and three, and we're almost obsessed, fixated on them. But at the
Mhm.
end of the day, when we hopefully we get to the space in life when it's time to end and transition, you want those other main people in the room, right? I want to have my wife, my kids be like, hey, you were a good man. You did well.
Mhm.
We loved you and you loved us, right? That's what
Yeah.
ideally we want. But we go around with life thinking about, well, that guy, that henchman in like 1993, he like rubbed me the wrong way. Oh, right, holding, like I'm carrying that person with me.
Mhm.
And then that's affected my identity because now I'm confusing myself thinking, well, this bully picked on me or this person talked trash about me online. That must be true.
Mhm.
I must be this like
Mhm.
frail thing. And we forget how powerful we are. And when I get
Yeah.
on the stage, that's one of my number one focuses. My framework, I call it WIN. So it's about worth, intentions, and your network. And the worth is where we got to start, because when we
Mhm.
reclaim who we are, when we as us, not
Mhm.
outside, not, hey, Deanna, you're really great. That could be true, but you need to believe it, because
Yes.
I've had those experiences where, Alex, you're amazing, you're awesome, and they just, I'm like Neo in the Matrix, like you can't hit me with a compliment. I
Uh-huh.
can't receive it. I'm not there.
Mhm.
I'm not emotionally available to receive it, because in my mind, henchman number one is running the show. Little Alex is running the show.
Mhm.
All these things that are distracting me from my real purpose, they're running
Mhm.
the show behind the scenes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that happens so often. When it comes to like the therapy work that I do, what like I work with people like I have folks who stand out in mind where they've been compared over and over again in their childhood, both overtly and kind of subtly to a sibling, and that they were not measuring up to their sibling. And ultimately what that led to was internalizing it, like I can never measure up. And
Yeah.
this wasn't even like there wasn't even a conscious awareness of it. It was just like this core unconscious belief that I'll never measure up, that it's never good enough. Taking in compliments like for them as well was really hard. And it's I think of like taking in compliments and believing good things about ourselves as adults when we've struggled with it, to me feels like building a muscle at a gym. If you've never lifted, you can't walk in and bench press 500 pounds or whatever. Like you can't do anything. Like you have got to work up to it. The sky's the limit, really, but you have to work up to it in the same way that you can't go from like never running to running a marathon in a week. Like that's not possible. I mean,
Unless you're David Goggins,
I mean, maybe, yeah, like
he's the
maybe
only
you could
one
get
of
your,
that.
but it'd be hard. You also can't learn your ABCs in one and two and three letter words and then read the Lord of the Rings at the end of the week. Like again, things in progress in all of these ways take time. And the same is true like for like accepting compliments, because I've struggled with that myself. Actually something that I did myself personally was I have in a file cabinet, I have a compliment drawer. Like sometimes people will just say like nice things, and
Yeah.
I write them down, and I take them take them in and use that to reinforce some of the things that I myself internalized early in my life that actually really aren't true about me, but that like I internalized so strong that it's like I'm like building a whole new muscle to take in the good, and it's made a huge difference in terms of even taking the mask off for myself and living so much more authentically.
Yeah. See, I knew there was a reason why we clicked, because what you just described right there is something that I do for myself, not just done, like actively do.
Mhm.
And what I've worked with clients on, I call it the courtroom. And
I love this.
on one side, we have the the prosecution, that's what I would call
Hmm.
those lies,
Hmm.
those false truths, the things that we're believing, right? You're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you can't be like him, you're not like her, you're not pretty, but whatever it is, the outside believing that.
Hmm.
And what I take on as my responsibility and my clients with is you have to be proactive in building up your defense. So
Hmm.
you got to collect the evidence. So if it's something, a remark on Facebook or LinkedIn, whatever social media, if it, like you did, someone compliments me, hey, I got to write that down. I got to capture that because what you need is evidence because the lies, they sound true. It's
Hmm.
like, yeah, you know what? At midnight, you're alone. And yeah, I am a failure. I am a screw up. I can't get this right. I'm gonna run out of money. I'm gonna be homeless, right? Those
Hmm.
thoughts can scream really loud in moments when we're
Yes.
down, we're despondent, and I
Hmm.
gotta go back into my phone. I keep a file on my phone like, hey, Alex, you're this, you're this, you're this. And it's not just about, hey, you're a good person. I needed to connect to things that I know that are true about me,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
That's where the real glue, the real mortar is
Yes.
because if I'm saying to myself, well, I'm an amazing entrepreneur and like my business is suffering, like this it's incongruent. But if I know, hey, I'm a powerful speaker, I have a message to share, I have something that people enjoy and that they gain insights from, and someone's sharing it, now I know like, okay, they caught that because I did that. That's who I am. Like I know that about
Hmm.
myself.
Hmm.
So
Yes.
my challenge to that prosecution is always like, well, you have to show me. You have to prove it.
Yeah.
Because I got the I got the receipts, as the
Hmm.
kids would say. I got the receipts right here
Yes.
on what are the impact I make in the world. And then this final piece of it is this judge, where most people are scared.
Hmm.
The judge is going to condemn me and sentence me to damnation and all that. But people forget, like, the judge can also pardon. The
Yes.
judge can be lenient.
Hmm. Hmm.
So we have to play that game within ourselves constantly.
Hmm.
What am I going to believe? Am I going to believe the stuff that just isn't real,
Hmm.
the fears, the limiting beliefs, or the real concrete evidence of what I've built, what I've
Hmm.
created, the impact that we've made?
Yes. Yeah.
Long TED Talk over. Thank you for
I love it.
for
No,
doing
I
it.
think that's such a great analogy and a great way to bring it home for people. Because like sometimes I'll say like in the therapy space when someone's, talking about a way in which they're really hard on themselves, sometimes I'll just like wonder like whose voice is that? Like we aren't born with voices that tell us we're trash or that we suck at this or that or whatever. We're not born with that. We learn that along the way. In the same way that really we learn how to build ourselves up. Ideally, we have someone who's helping us do that early in development. It often doesn't happen, and then as adults, it's like whose voice is it? Like where did that come from? Because you weren't born with that. And can we assign that where it belongs? And what I will say is like, and I always find this so important to communicate is that I've done this work, you guys. I
Mm.
didn't just like it's not like I somehow like was
Just didn't like
just
magic,
like
like
didn't have any problems and I became a therapist. No, like I've done over 10 years of my own therapy to do this same work. And it helped me tremendously. I think you heard me share this story with Jamar. But like I recently several months ago had filled out a speaker proposal for an event and I was excited. I really wanted to speak at this event. And long story short, they said no to my proposal. And it was a bummer and it was disappointing. And I felt disappointed by it. I was disappointed. Like I don't have an expectation or illusion that I can go through life without feeling hard things. Like that's just part of life. I was disappointed by it, but I wasn't defined by the disappointment. I have a message that I strongly believe in. I think that I can come on stage and deliver a really good speech to people, something that's engaging. I'm still working on my speaking prowess, but I love it. It's fun for me. And I these things I believe to be true about myself as I continue to build confidence in these areas. And so that disappointment, while disappointing, was manageable and it didn't totally overtake me like it might have 5 or 7 years ago.
yeah, that's amazing. So kudos for you for learning from it, right? Because I
Hmm.
think that's the key in that. What do
Hmm.
I learn from this? What did I gain from this quote unquote
Hmm.
loss, this L that I took? And as a speaker, just play. I share from time to time, like, hey, this is. This is a denial letter, right? A
Yeah.
rejection letter, if you want to call it that. Here's what I learned and what I like to do is like I like to try to be like kind of going back to the courtroom. I like to be a detective. I want to snoop around, find the
Yes.
clues, and
Uh-huh.
I'll go to a person if they send me a personalized letter like, "Hey, what do you think I can do? What do you think I can improve in my presentation or my description or abstract? Like what was it
Yeah.
that maybe didn't land and how can I improve that?" If we're
hmm
looking for that, if we're searching for that, I call it going for the gold. Like I'm looking for the
hmm
treasure. I'm looking for like the gems and not just the muck and the dirt. And
hmm
you can live in the dirt. I've spent plenty of years
hmm
mucking around. Woe was me. Life
Yeah.
sucks. I can have all the excuses, man. I'm black in the United States. This sucks here. Nothing's
hmm
right. Nothing's fair. Okay, that could be true.
hmm
Or I have the opportunity to create a truth for myself. I can create real facts.
hmm Yeah. So who are you?
Gosh, who am I? Great question. I'm a person who loves people.
hmm
Right? I want to see people win. I want to see people succeed. And I wrote a chapter in a book last year, this book called The Journey of Riches, The Power of Self-Discovery. My chapter title was called Everybody Wins, Including Me, because for so long I was champion like everybody wins. But nothing's wrong with that, but what I would feel energetically and even just like physically, people are celebrating, they got the champagne, the confetti's dropping on them, right? And I'm kind of in the back like, well, did I win? Like, I don't know if I got anything out of this, or I didn't like what. Nothing filled my cup, and I had to remember, Deanna, like, oh, I'm a part of everybody. It's okay to ask for things that I want. It's okay to speak up for the things that I want. It's okay to receive, right? No different from receiving a compliment, receiving something monetarily, receiving a new connection, a new referral, whatever it is. Not being the person that gets in the way because I
hmm
see that a lot. I've been that person for a long time where, hey, we got an opportunity. I'm not that kind of guy. I don't know if
Yeah.
I can really do that. You might want to
hmm
go to somebody else, like just deflect that. I call it hot potato, right? You're a good person. No, no, you're a great person.
hmm
Oh, you're awesome. No, no, you're awesome. Like, and not even taking time to just like, yeah, I am awesome. Huh?
hmm
You're damn right I am. Like, and
Yeah.
being confident in that, not arrogant, not cocky, but the inner knowing of, all right, I don't have to quote unquote fake it till I make it.
Yes.
I'm making it already. I have made it. I'm just on the path to a different place that I'm making.
hmm
I'm already here. I
hmm
already arrived. Now it's about letting the world know, like, hey, I'm here.
hmm
I'm here.
Yeah. I mean, I love that. I don't have to fake it till I make it. I already made it. Like, what wouldn't that be so cool if that had been like the messaging that we've all received? Because I think the fake it till we make it idea actually encourages a mask sometimes. It encourages inauthenticity. Like if different things like that, whereas like, no, you already made it. Like you're making it happen.
Yeah.
And I remember having a conversation with someone like a long time ago, probably 10 years ago where I think I just said like make your life happen, like make it happen, make
Yeah.
what you want to have happen. um and learn, and we all learn along the way. I say that as someone who's like very goal oriented though and driven. I like to have a goal, I like to have a project, I like to have something next to be working on. I don't do well otherwise.
No, in there, coming back to like what I was saying before
hmm
about winning, right? And
hmm
that sounds like very macho. Like I gotta win, but at the end of the day, if we're not moving forward, not making progress towards something, then what are we doing, right? That old adage of if you're not growing, you're dying, right? And you have an intention, you have a goal, whether you hit it or not is some goals are important for sure. Like, yeah, like I really have to do this. Like this is like
hmm
do or die. This is commitment. Like
hmm
this is what it is.
Yep.
Other times like, all right, if it didn't hit it, all right. But I also get to play the game of, well, who do I need to become in order to hit that goal? Right?
mm
What's that version of Alex that needs to like shed and like now step up, right?
hmm
Because it could be I've been in places where I can give like 10% effort and still succeed.
hmm
Like, is there any fun in that? Is there any joy in that? Is like that's the empty champagne glass. Like, all right, yeah, we did it again. Great job, everybody. But if
Hmm.
there's something that I'm really passionate about, a couple of years ago, I was fortunate enough to lead I would say a movement, right? Lead an event where myself and a couple other coaches put together a 1 day event in Phoenix, Arizona. And initially, it started off as our own kind of personal fundraiser because our intention was to use those funds to pay off a coach, and we were gonna be in a group coaching program together, right? So nothing wrong with that. It's a worthwhile, worthy thing, but there's I would say there's a little steam behind it because for me, energetically, I was approaching people like, "Hey, buy a ticket." Not just so you can have a great event, but so you can help me out, so you can like help save my butt. Like, please, more
Hmm.
push, sir. Like, help me. Like, I need
Hmm.
you to bail me out.
Totally.
We
Hmm.
shifted the focus, the intention of that into not paying the coach, but we came up with an idea of like, hey, what if we donated the money to different organizations and nonprofits? That changed, that leveled up a lot of
Hmm.
things because now the conversation is, hey, this is what we're doing. This is why we're doing it. We're here to support these organizations. We're telling their stories, and people rally to that. The
Hmm.
numbers started to crank up, and we did this in about 70 days, right? This is November 2021. This idea, this seed is planted
Hmm.
January 2022, right? Holidays, New Year, right? Some people call holidays. Sometimes they turn to holla months because people just check out. So we have a lot of those things.
Uh-huh.
We're up against the wall with a couple of those things, but we pulled it off.
Hmm.
And that was one of the first real indicators to me of like how powerful a commitment is. When we're
Hmm.
focused on something, when we have something that is bigger than ourselves. I call it
Yeah.
building a bigger bubble. Like once something is expanding beyond your consciousness, your thought, it's amazing how resourceful we can get. Like, hey, can you help me here? Can you tag us on Facebook? Can you share this? Like this, I'm going up to random people. Like, this is what we're doing. Every conversation, everything was all about this, and it can be obnoxious. It can take a lot of energy, but if it's
Hmm.
for something that is like once again back to that word, worthwhile, something that you can champion
Yes.
and you can actually enroll other people into it. Right? If I tried to do it by myself, I would have been on the
Hmm.
floor like in 2 days. But
Hmm.
having other people network and expand and be champions for me, we were able to get it done. So
Hmm.
all that to say, when you get committed, everything else moves out the way. Like there's
Yeah.
no more pretending. This is where we're going. This is what we're doing.
Hmm.
Let's get there.
Yes. And I think excitement is contagious. I mean, like emotions are kind of contagious, but like excitement, like when we're excited and we're bringing other people into our excitement and our message, like there's something so contagious about that. And then other people want to be a part of it and want to champion it. And that's the beautiful thing I think about like that's what I love to see in social media. I was telling you earlier, like sometimes I feel like a terrible millennial because I'm not real good at social media.
It
Um,
might have become a blog. The terrible millennial.
That's what I should do. Yes, and like I said, you won't find me doing like TikTok dances. That is not my jam. But I love the championing that can come via social media and the like propelling of a message that's something that we're really excited and about and how big things can get via social media. It's really lovely to see, and I don't think that gets enough attention because sometimes we have it. I think it's just in general as people we have a tendency towards focusing on negative or bad things.
Yeah.
That's where we kind of lean in a little bit more. And yet, like when we're excited about something and we have other people that want to be excited with us, I love that.
It's
Hmm.
it's refreshing, and I look at it as kind of coming back to childhood because when
Hmm.
I have a 15-year-old, I have a 10-year-old at the time we're recording this, and I think back to when they were kids, when they were like little babies,
Hmm.
and they're excited about everything. I could
Yeah.
do like the peekaboo thing, right? And they're like,
Yes.
"Oh my God, this is the best thing in the
Yes.
world!" Like they're
Uh-huh.
so excited.
Hmm.
And as you mentioned, over time we lose that.
Hmm.
Right? It's well,
Hmm.
you need to like settle down. You're a little bit too much, Deanna. You need to be
Yes.
a good girl. Alex, you need to be a good boy. Like
Yep.
we don't do those things. We don't brag.
Hmm.
We don't boast. Like,
Hmm.
down a little bit. Turn it down a little.
Exactly. Yes. Uh-huh. Yeah.
I love the possibility of like waking up people to that. Because when we're
Hmm.
excited, when we're enthused,
Hmm.
like you said, it's contagious. Like, oh my goodness, if I went outside right now and just did play tag with somebody right now as an adult, they'd be like, "What the hell's wrong with you?" But as a kid,
Hmm.
that's how you made friends. He's like, "Hey, tag, you're in." Like, okay, and you don't
Yes.
think about it. You're just like, I got
Yeah.
to get this kid. I'm gonna run after you. We're gonna,
Uh-huh.
play basketball, whatever. And
Mhm.
there's no limit. There's everything's
Mhm.
all possibilities are on the shelf, on the table.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like it's fun. There's also a shared understanding, right? Like I remember that, like playing tag as a kid. It didn't matter if some kid that you'd never met before came up and tagged you, you knew what you were supposed to do next.
Right.
Like we all just knew what what came next. And yeah, and you're right. Yeah, kids in there, like their excitement over things. It's like the most wholesome videos to me on social media are kids meeting their favorite Disney characters.
Yeah.
I think that's so sweet and they're just so happy and excited. It's so like it's just joyful to watch. It feels so good. And that's actually like if I have a day where I'm like feeling kind of down or like I'm frustrated or irritated with stuff, whatever it is, I'll watch those kind of videos. I think they're so sweet.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And kind of going back to this title, right? There's no mask there.
Exactly. Hmm.
Genuine, authentic, excitement,
Hmm.
connection. There's no,
Hmm.
well, I wanted to tag him, but I'm not feeling confident about myself and my shoes are
Yep.
untied, my fly might be
Hmm.
open. Who am
Yep.
I to play tag?
Hmm.
No, it's
Hmm.
just tag, you're it. No, no, now I'm like you said, like that social
Yep.
construct, like I know what to do. I know
Yep.
exactly what to do. It's intuitive. There's no,
Hmm.
I didn't have to read a book like the Book of Tag. Once player A gets, it's just, you
Yeah.
just do it.
Yeah, exactly. You just do it. Yeah. You don't have to think about it and you just know. And you're right. I think that that was a lovely point. Yeah, you don't have to think my shoes are untied or my pants unzipped or whatever it is. Like you're not worried. You just play. You just
Yeah.
live in that moment very very authentically.
Yeah. So, one of the things that we kind of shared or a touchdown was like this gap, right, between
Hmm.
this external achievement, these prizes that we're
Hmm.
chasing, like the goals in mind, and then our internal fulfillment. So how do we bridge that gap? How do we bring the the result versus into who we are as a person?
I think it's in tolerating discomfort is one of the biggest things that come to my mind. I think in general, tolerating discomfort is hard for us, and especially when we're talking about tolerating like self-doubt. But again, I would liken this type of growth again to like building muscle at a gym. That is uncomfortable. You don't go from 5 pounds to 10 pounds the next day to 15 pounds to 20 pounds all just in a matter of a few days. It takes time. Some days you're more on fire than others. It doesn't mean that you're not progressing. It doesn't mean any of those things. It just means that progress isn't linear, and we have to tolerate discomfort in order to do it. Um, I think that like when I think about the analogy of like, oh my gosh, am I in the wrong shoes or like are like my pants unzipped or do I have the right shirt on or something like that? Um, there's a there was a time in my life where probably one of the most mortifying things that could happen to me is like to know that I had food on my face and I didn't know it or something like that. I know people won't tell you. I can assure you that if we ever run into each other and you have food on your face, I will tell you.
Oh, I'm that
Um,
person is in your teeth, like you gotta
yeah,
wear.
like would you get that out of there already? Anyway, I will definitely tell you, but a lot of people won't tell you. That's because it's uncomfortable. Actually, that's really why. I think
It's
because
rude.
it feels like uncomfortable to be like, oh my God, Alex, you have spinach in your teeth. Like it's there's a discomfort with that. But it's about tolerating discomfort and leaning into the discomfort. And what I know, in part over my many years of therapy and what I've done is that like I can be uncomfortable in order to achieve this next level of growth and to attain more trust in myself. I mean, that's really what confidence is. It's trusting yourself.
Yeah.
So if there are areas where I feel like I don't trust myself as much, it means that I actually have to put myself into that spot. I can't build all the trust I need and then go into it. The
So it's
way
not a
you build,
prepaid trust card.
no,
Like,
unfortunately, it is not. But I get the trust by wading into those waters, acknowledging any sort of fear that I have, which naturally will creep up, and that's okay. That's part of being human. But yeah, you lean into that, and that's how we build. That's how we start to build additional confidence and additional trust in leaning into those spaces.
yeah, I love that. As I studied confidence, trying to be an expert in it, right? I saw that
Hmm.
it comes from Latin, right? Confidere, with trust.
Hmm.
Okay. Oh yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense because when we're trusting something, there's no shakiness, there's no wishy-washy.
Hmm.
If this is hypothetical, right? If we were to wake up and be on the edge of a cave, right? If somehow
Hmm.
my bed got transported to like the edge of a mountain, I step off. Holy, whoa, whoa, whoa! I
Yep.
don't trust that. Like now, I'm hesitant. I'm afraid. That's
Hmm.
real danger. That's real fear for me. But we
Hmm.
also create the fear in our minds, right? If I'm
Hmm.
in my regular house and I start having that kind of phobia.
Hmm.
And this is not knocking phobias, like these are real things in people's minds, and people, individuals like yourself, support people like that to walk
Hmm.
through life and to to take action. But if I'm waking up every day in my regular bed and I'm scared to put my foot on the floor,
Hmm.
whoa, that's gonna hinder me tons. Like I'm not gonna be able
Hmm.
to get out, get dressed, get food, use the bathroom, like just the
Yep.
daily things that we do on a regular basis. So when
Hmm.
I would call it disturbing the disturbance, right? Because in our
Yeah.
brains, we just, oh, these thousands of thoughts, and most of them are
Hmm.
negative. And why am I doing this? I'm stupid. I'm blah. It's
Hmm.
like, gotta like kind of
Hmm.
shake it up and like come back to the trust, come back to what you know is true about you. And even when you don't know that you've had plenty of experience
Hmm.
let's say it like this. So far, you've survived every single day of your life. Like so
Yes.
far, you're 100,
Hmm.
you're
Hmm.
you're batting 1,000 at
You are.
surviving life.
Hmm.
You can do it another day, right?
Yes, yes. And when you, in the times where like I really self-doubt sometimes, or like I really just need like a boost, if I can, I will talk to someone or call someone or whatever to say, hey, like I'm struggling this, like help me out here. If, historically, almost always, it's been my sister. She's just like without a doubt my best friend on this planet, and she has like got my back, and I don't have any problem like just like laying out the reality of my mind and where I'm at with things with her. And it's so lovely, and she really like I'm fortunate enough that like even if I can't talk to her in a moment, I can hear her voice in my head, and I know what she would say to me about something. I
Yeah.
know that she's got my back, and I know that she's supporting me, and sometimes I need that from someone else to also help give me a boost. And it's such a gift.
Oh yeah, 100%. And this goes back to coming back to winning, right? The end
Hmm.
piece of what I talk about is the network. So who are the people in your community? I'm in
Hmm.
paraphrasing Jamar here. You change your circle, you change your life.
Yes. Yeah.
If you're somebody who, right, this is all a metaphor, right? If you're somebody who is soaring with eagles,
Hmm.
you're a bird. If you're with eagles, then you're gonna do what eagles do. If you're on the ground with ducks, you're gonna waddle
Hmm.
waddle like a duck.
Yep.
I'm not judging the duck, but I like to soar. I like to fly. I like to
Hmm.
glide and kind of have
Hmm.
dominion, right?
Yeah.
Sovereignty of what I'm
Yeah.
up to and not follow the pack and not just be the same old, same old. Like that gets
Hmm.
boring really quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. And so like that even that like that knowing where you want to be and like where it feels good to you to be is so important, right? Like you need and I think too like when I think about like soaring like having a really big vantage point is what
Yeah.
I imagine with that is like you can see all of these things and you can take in like this really big scope of things and isn't that like such a great place to be?
Yeah. And for any leader, that's maybe one of your top three skills, top five. If we have
Hmm.
like a superhero card, like, hey, what's your strength level? What's your vision level, right?
Hmm.
Having the ability to see the big picture and then move people, mobilize people. Some people might call it manipulation, or you're
Hmm.
you're you're doing being the wrong kind of person. Like if it's for the wrong task, then yeah, we've seen how leadership in that one aspect can harm others. But if you're somebody
Hmm.
who's moving people for the betterment of everyone
Hmm.
collectively as much as possible, people are gonna rally to that. People will
Yes.
see the message. They'll recognize like, hey, this leader is here for me. They see me.
Hmm.
I want to support that. I'm with it. What do I got to do?
Yep.
Versus, oh man, well, they're coming now. We got to hide or we're gonna rebel or
Hmm.
whatever that might look
Hmm.
like.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I love this. Yeah. Oh man. This has been so fun.
This has been fun. I can't believe like we've been like rolling through this like
I know. It's like time is going by really fast. It's like, oh my gosh, it's almost 45 minutes.
so
Uh-huh.
for anyone who wants to connect with you or learn more about your services, I mean, I guess we'll kind of do this for each other.
Yeah.
Where do we find you? Where's Deanna hang out?
You can find me most on LinkedIn. That's the best place to find me. Deanna Pelley. My name's there at the bottom. And I think it says like MA LPCC because I'm a licensed professional clinical counselor. But you can find me on LinkedIn, and you and I are connected on LinkedIn. I'm also on Instagram at Making People Make Sense. Like I said, I'm not a real
Like that,
excellent.
making people make sense.
I
That
love making people make sense. We all make sense. Everything can make sense for anyone if we understand their subjective reality. I will say that
Ooh.
anything can make sense, even if it's not how you are. So that's kind of the driving force behind that. And I'm gonna get better at making and utilizing Instagram more. So yeah, where do we find you?
You can find me on LinkedIn as well. So the name as it is, AlexDumas, or my website, speakeralexdumas.com. If anyone's inquiring about speaking or looking for an event host or an MC, if you want to call it that, or workshops, that's what I offer to the world, and would be happy to support you, whether it's one-on-one basis or support your association or organization.
Mhm.
So as we get close to wrapping up, is there a final takeaway, something that you want someone to hear about going beyond the mask and not pretending anymore, but really living authentically with confidence?
I think living authentically with confidence is allowing yourself to be you the way you are. We can't, again, the shoe that fits one pinches another. Like the shoe that may be great for someone else may not be great for you. So how can you embrace what you know to be true about yourself, who you really are, and lean on your own understanding of you because that's what's so important. We can't be someone else, but you can be you and be you authentically.
Yeah, that's powerful. I love that. I forget who really said the quote. Said, just be yourself because everybody else is taken.
Yes. Yes.
I forget who said it.
Mhm.
So don't kill me in the comments. Like,
Mhm.
Alex, don't you know is this person? Like,
Mhm.
I know the quote at least. All right, give me a break.
Yes. Yes. Hmm.
And I guess my final thought about living authentically, living beyond the mask is just recognizing that your story matters and your voice matters. Like you have value to add to the world, and your perspective, your lens, how you see the world is going to be so different from somebody else. And we need that voice. We need that to be included. We need that diversity so that we all can benefit. So your story matters and your voice matters. So Deanna, I'm so glad that we had this conversation. We
Me
need to
too.
do this again. We'll figure out
Yes.
when that's going to be. And
Yes.
for anybody watching, or please share this with people in your network if you
Mhm.
think this could benefit somebody, if this can be useful. Leave some comments for us. Like, what did you get from this? What did you take away? How can you use this and apply this into your own business or your own personal life? So, with all that said and done, we're going to tap out. See you next time. Stay blessed.